Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this beginner's speedrun tutorial for Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I would like to start off with some ground rules for running this game. Some things that you will have to apply throughout the entire game. Let's start off with key bindings. Now, since the newest update, well, actually an update a long time ago that added controller support, you have to do some key bindings in your documents folder. So let's navigate to the Amnesia folder then. You go to Documents, you look out for Amnesia, go to Main, then Your Name, and then User Keys. Now there's three things we're gonna change. The jump primary, which will be mouse button dot wheel up. And then the secondary for jump is going to be mouse button wheel down. So once you have these binded to your scrolling wheel, the jump action, it will allow you to spam jump a lot faster than you would with space, which is absolutely essential in the speedrun. Aside from that, the interact secondary, so like this one, is also going to be mouse wheel down, so like the same as your primary or secondary jump button. As to why, we'll get to later, but for now, make sure you change it to this one. So hit Ctrl S to save and then close it. Also, if you go to user settings, for the sake of practicing, turn on, where is it? Yes. Allow quick save equals true. Now by default it says false. Just change it to true and then hit Ctrl S and close the window. You have to do this with the game closed though, or else it won't apply the changes you made. So, aside from that, you should, in game, you should always jump whenever you're on stairs, and always hold down the mouse button whenever there's a loading screen with text to skip the last part of the loading screen. Those were all the ground rules, and now we should start. Oh fuck, the sound is playing through my laptop speakers, hold on. Alright, there we go. Also, a thing that you want to do is, of course, turn up the brightness all the way. All the way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know before running the game, so now let's start.
Don't forget, some things
The moment you start to hear
shadow hunting me.
the lines being spoken, that's when you start the time. Now this is the intro, but in the intro you can also already interact with your surroundings. So what I always do is open this door, because we'll have to pass through it later. That's a bit quick, and then pick up the tinderbox here as well. That's the only thing. Opening that door is the only thing that you should do at the beginning of the intro. So now that the screen goes black, you start holding D to move yourself sideways. Because you're going to start laying down with your body facing the wall, and hitting D will start moving you towards the door. Okay, so now when you look up, you hold S and D to keep you moving in the right direction. So when you stand up, you drag your view towards the door, and then you just pull the quickest line you can through this segment of the run. This part of the run is quite boring, so boring even that it's the only reason I really hate restarting a run. Also, to get back to oh wait, so here you keep falling down because you're still weak from the amnesia potion you drank, but just try to keep forcing your viewing direction towards the fastest line. You kind of have to imagine a racing line. Okay, so now we're going through the door. Hold down the mouse button, because once the text starts scrolling up, the loading is already done, but if you hold the mouse button, you immediately skip the text. So also, during loading, you can hold down the W button, but if you hold down the shift button and the loading is done, you won't immediately start sprinting. So only hit shift after the loading is done. Okay, so this is a very important part. This is where you pick up the lantern, which we are not going to do. Instead, what you're going to do is walk around this pink spot and then continue running. This activates a trigger that if you miss it, your running speed and walking speed will be 3/4 slower. I forgot to explain something, hold on. So here's what we're gonna do. Just run into the hall. Just ignore that whole thing. Walk around the pink blob. And then when you get here, yeah, that happened automatically. You want to stand on the left hand side of the wooden thing and just sprint into the wall and spam jump with the scrolling wheel. Spam jump. Then you reach this point, which is when you'll spam the forward button and the space button, and then afterwards you start spamming shift. So you just kind of like hold W, spam space, and jump while holding shift. So you jump over this line because you can sometimes clip back in bounds when you jump over this line, or when you fall through this line, excuse me. You jump over this line because it has like a little invisible wall, and then you walk on this thing, jump towards the other room, jump onto this part, jump around this little brick wall, and then you let yourself drop to the door. Jumping around stuff is not as hard as it looks. You really just jump into a direction and then you move your mouse into the direction that you want to jump and your body just follows. Now, after every segment I explained, I'm going to show it how I would do it fast. Actually, from now on I'm just going to do it at the beginning to give you an idea of what we're going to practice. So, from the beginning, as you can see, my running speed is a lot slower now. But after I walk around the pink little blob, I suddenly run faster. It's not as noticeable now, but and then you just jump around, and that's where you were. So you just drop down, click the door, and then hold the mouse button. Okay, so this segment I'm going to explain very carefully and spend a lot of attention on, because it's very hard for beginners to do. Once you get good at it, it's not as hard, but for beginners and for me alike, because I'm still quite a beginner myself, this is a quite hard part to master. So here's what I do. Just walk onto this thing, Look at this little blob, jump onto this pillar, which is quite a pain in the ass. So I'm on here, slide myself up, jump out, hit space, land in here, run into the window pane. Nope, that didn't work. Just get as low as possible, and then you jump into the windowsill on the other side, walk down, and then you would just like click the door. But I'm going to skip that because now I'm going to explain it. So here you're essentially skipping a huge segment of the game actually. So you jump onto here. You try to get as close onto like the spot that my cursor is at right now, even though it kind of tries to push you off. So now you look at this little spot right here. On lower graphic settings it's much more visible, these kind of spots, but the game runs like trash to me on like lower settings for some reason. It's a bit choppier on lower settings. So either way, you just look at it and then just hold W, shift, and start spamming jump again while looking there, just like that. It doesn't always work in the first try. I mean, I've practiced this bit a lot just now, well, before starting this video. Maybe it's not the best cue point. So there it worked. It's very important that you usually spend more time on the line up rather than just trying to do it too fast, because if you do it too fast you increase the chances of failing like a lot, and if you increase the chance of failing you're gonna have to redo it more often, and you'll eventually just lose more time than you would have just spending more time on the lineup. So this bit right here of a pillar is what you need to jump onto. Like this bit is what you need to jump onto. So you kind of want to line up in the middle. Don't sprint for this one. And then you don't stand against it, but like a bit further off. Then you just spam jump. Sometimes move from left to right until you get on here. Now you can see that right now I'm standing on this height, like if I look straight forward, the top of the windowsill, it's like kind of my eye height. But if I move a bit to the left, I'll be a bit lower, which is where I want to be, because like now I can jump. It pushed me off, but like if you stand too close, you just won't jump, or just jump way too little. So that's not what you want. That's why we don't jump directly into the windowsill, because then you'll get cock blocked by this bitch. So you just kind of jump out and sprint, like walk forward and sprint, jump, release, sprint, that's very important, hit space once, only once, and then land into the windowsill. So let's try it. That went fairly smooth, even for me, but that's like if you spend a lot of time on the lineup, it will go smooth. Now, let's try it again from the beginning, a bit faster now. Jump on here. As you see, it keeps pushing me off. Look at the spot. The lineup on this one is quite difficult sometimes. Maybe, yeah, that was it. Like, instead of trying to stand here where my cursor is at now, just try to stand more on this point. So stand over there, look at the spot, and then just clip on. Now, so the pillar, back on the pillar, jump out, space, and then there you go. Now that once you're in the windowsill, you're going to try to send about in this spot right under here, and just like kind of hit space and scroll at the same time. If it doesn't work as smoothly as this, just kind of like spam it about. It will eventually work. Then what you do is like very jaggedly move towards this side and try to jam yourself into this side of the pillar, like where the pillar and the glass pane meet. Walk into it, sprint into it until you see yourself kind of sagging. It helps to look down. And then what you do is turn around. You can fall down here if you don't turn around quick enough. If you turn around too quick, you won't go through it. So then what you do is walk to this. You want to land on there. Now what you do is clip your body on this part of the floor to kind of like reduce falling damage. You see? And that was it for this segment. So now we just like kind of bam. Hold mouse button once again. So here a flashback will start and a monster will spawn. Now fear not, because when you're in a flashback you're invulnerable to monsters and they'll ignore you. What you want to do is time it so that the flashback will end at the moment you're standing right next to the monster, so that when you run past, the monster will swing at you. A monster cannot swing and run at the same time, so if he swings at you and misses, you buy more time. It sounds hard and scary and stressful, but it isn't. Because in order to time it correctly, you just have to run as fast as you can. So let's do it. You kind of have to jump on these little pebbles on the side of boards in order to get a boost. Like there, I just had a little speed boost.
For the darkness, that is.
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Dandel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
So here's our little monster friend. As you can see, he's ignoring us. Then I walk by. He took a swing at me and missed. Then you quickly crawl under there and start sprinting again. So you walk up here. Just kinda run into it, hold shift and W and jump. And then once you reach a higher altitude, you just start spamming space again as well. So once you're up there, you can just jump here. It's safe, you won't fall through, but you will take damage. So what you want to do is like kinda jump off of it, land on this beam. It'll sometimes boost you forward, sometimes it won't, but it'll in any case take off falling damage. Now this part here is a bit difficult because this door has a ceiling over it. It's not difficult, it's just like a bit stressful at times, and you just have to take it a bit slow. And if you take it slow, it'll just work out. Yeah, I'm not gonna redo this bit because it takes a bit long, and there's not a lot to explain here. So what you do is just kind of inch yourself backwards, and then the moment you start falling, hit forward and spam the mouse button. And there you have it. This part can be a bit stressful for beginners. I don't stress anymore. But here is where the water monster part comes in. And they can be quite stressful to deal with. So I'm just going to explain it a bit slow as to what you're supposed to do. So bear with me. Okay, so whenever you're in the water, you're in danger and the monster will follow you. What we're going to do is just stay in the water till here. Just jump up. Move this lever upwards. Sorry. Because if you jump on the boxes there, on your way out, the monster will be blocking the doorway. So you can just If whenever you're in water, just jump as much as you can. It's faster, but to me it's faster to jump on the boxes. Now here I'm pausing because it's a bit time sensitive. There's two monsters in this segment, but the first one we just dealt with is going to be locked in the other section of the map. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kill this monster by forcing him out of bounds. So bear with me. Quick save. Kinda. Whoa. I suck at it. I only practiced it for the first time today, so now just... Oh, okay, we're just gonna try it again. I'm not an expert at this anymore. I'm too slow. So essentially what you're doing is trapping him under that box, which means his collision is disabled. And when you let go of the box, his collision is enabled. So you kind of forced him under the map, so he's just like falling to his death. So once again, just like grab the box, put it in front of you, and just like wait until he runs into it, force it down a bit more, and then let it go. And now he's fucking dead. So what we're going to do then is run here, crawl, grab this thing, and while we open it, just run into the gate. So then you run here, grab the hollow needle, double click it, click on the door, and now you can go in. Just gonna try to do it one more time a bit faster, just from the monster part. Fuck, I didn't kill him. So this one is also a bit of... It takes a bit of practice for me too. Oh, are you for real? I also accidentally quick saved again on the wrong time. Okay, so he's dead now. Just run here, grab the thing, crouch against the door, open as fast as possible. So as you can see, I'm not the best at speedrunning this game myself. I just found there's a lack of newer tutorials out there, so I decided to make one of my own. And even though I don't always have the tricks mastered as good as I want to myself, as long as I can explain it properly, you can learn it properly, even though I may not be able to do it properly myself. So here, there's another segment with the water monster, but we're going to be able to skip it. Close this door behind you. This part is a bit time sensitive, so I'm going to explain it quickly. Kind of line yourself up here. You don't sprint, walk forward into it, and then boost yourself through the roof. Now you should watch out that you don't drop back in here, because you'll take damage. And you kind of want to boost yourself up here, fly over it, or just like boost yourself up, turn this way, so like this way, press D very shortly so that you land on this edge instead of back in water. So once you've done that, you just go about this here. Sometimes you can get a little boost from jumping on this little bit of shadow meat, but I usually just like, oh fuck, almost fell. What I usually do is just like jump on this edge, jump onto these boards, from this board jump on here, and now you can drop into the water and glide against the wall to prevent taking damage from dropping into the water. I kind of suck at it, so I just run over here and click on the door. Now I'm going to skip clicking on the door because I'm going to do this segment one more time and a bit more quickly. So here's how you do it. Open the door, close it behind me. Buys me valuable time. Boost myself up against here. Kind of tap D a little, and now I'm just done. I'm in the safe zone. Alright, so that was that. Hold the mouse button once again. Okay, and here's a very short segment. This is called the back hall, I think. And you're gonna be running through here a couple times, but this time you're just trying to get into the study room as quickly as possible. So what you do is you walk up the stairs, jump onto the railing, and look at this little spot right here. You sprint into it and spam jump. And if done properly, unlike how I just did it, you should be launched onto the balcony railing here. It takes a bit of practice to get it right, which is what I could use. There, I just did it right. It takes a bit of practice to get it right, which is what I could use. But yeah, once you do it right, or if you do it wrong and you keep retrying, it's basically slower than just walking towards the thing. But in any run, I just keep trying it no matter how long it takes in order to get the practice. So on the other side of this wall there is a room where we need to be. So what we're going to do is lodge ourselves in between the pillar and this wall as closely as we can. Just look at the painting, and then just hit sprint, so shift and A, while kinda moving our mouse slightly. The more violently you shake, the better you're at it, and the greater your odds are of clipping through. If it takes a long time, just like slowly move your mouse, which is what I pretty much always do, and then you'll clip through. So then you run in here, grab the flow, steam, cycle, rod, whatever thing, and then you run back. And now we're going to do the same thing in reverse. So in this pillar, then just load yourself in place. Look at the elevator renovation plans. Just kind of move your mouse a little and clip back through. Now there is also an alternative method if you're too damaged. Oh, I should mention, if your health drops below 52, you will walk slower and some of these tricks won't work. Now if you're new at the game, there's like odds you're too slow after the monster hit you. Now you can clip in here, which takes a while, but if you are too slow you can't clip back out. So what you're gonna do then is this: you just jump here where you would normally be. The second last part is the second last, what do you call it? Let's just call it the balcony. It's where you want to stand, and then you're just trying to jump into this glass pane here. Oh, it's almost the end of me. And then you can clip back inside very easily. Don't walk too close to this glass or it's going to trigger an event which will drain your sanity. Too low sanity and too low health will both affect you in negative ways. And that's the study. Now, just going to try to do it again real quick. Run against the wall here. Clip through. And that's essentially how fast the study can be. Now where we're gonna go is Daniel's room, where he stayed in the castle. Daniel is our protagonist for the people who aren't too keen on lore. So the room is right here, so you just turn around, sprint, lean, and click on it. Just get into this room as fast as you can. Now, entering this room will trigger a flashback. And what we're going to do is grab this laudanum, because we're all beginners and we could use some extra health. There's 4 laudanum potions in the game. This is one of 4, and the first one you find. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come into this room, jump in between the corner of this bookshelf and this wall. You should clip right through. If you don't clip right through, there's odds that Oh shit. There's odds that you have the wrong version of the game installed, which is not the proper version for speedrunning. I should add that if you're playing the PS4 version of this game, this speedrun tutorial will not work for you, unfortunately. Also, pirated versions of the game are usually older and will not work as well. So this key is what you need to get into the elevator room. Don't bang off this painting because it'll trigger a flashback. Just like don't throw it, smash it into the wall, pick up the key, and now a monster will spawn, but we don't give a shit because we're invincible. Now I'm just gonna do this one more time.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal?
Let's grab the key, don't throw it, smash it into the wall. Now the game will kind of take control of your mouse after you smash the thing and just jiggle it around, which makes it hard to grab it, but just kind of spam it and move around your mouse and you'll grab it. So once you run up here, just don't jump around. You can also just lean and click the door and then you're back outside. Alright, now we're going back to storage. Or back to storage, I mean now we're going to storage, which is a bit stressful for beginners. So for now we're safe, but that will change. We're going to be a tiny bit unsafe. What you're going to do is jam this box in here so that it's like this far out. Then you're going to jump on this box and jump on there. But first we're going to have to grab this drill bit, which spawns a grunt, a monster. Oh, now I'm stressing out myself. There we go. So now you're just gonna spam space and jump, don't sprint to get onto the closet. Or maybe sprint, I don't know, I'm not your dad. And then you're going to clip on this side of the bookshelf to jump up there. I'm going to do it one more time, a bit slower actually. Let's close the door for extra safety. Launch it in there again, not too far out like I just did, so it'll drop again. Like this. Grab the drill part, monster spawns. Jump on there. Whoops. That was my fault. Sprint. So this is what you want to align yourself with. Then just kind of sprint into it and spam jump. Okay. Now I'm good out of bounds and just want to quick save here. I should add that quick saves should only be used when practicing runs. It's not allowed to quick save and quick load in the actual speed runs that you want to upload to the speed demos archives or whatever it's called, speedrun.com. So we're on here now. Just kind of boost yourself onto here. Don't walk over this hallway or it will at this part trigger a flashback. So what we're gonna do is just walk here. Just walk in this way and then jump the last bit onto these wooden boards. Then what we're gonna do is jump on this part, then jump here. It's a bit finicky, this area. There's holes that will make you fall through like everywhere. But if you just take the path I just took, you're safe. Then you kind of jump around these pillars so that you land here. So this is where we want to be back in bounds. And there's a part you can kind of see a seam into this piece of wood, like right here, which even I just clipped back in bounds without doing anything. Just gonna have to try that again to show you. Big booty boy. Jump the last bit almost fell back into bounds. Okay, so now that you're here, you have to jump around it again. Jump around this one, land here. So, around this is the place where you want to get back into bounds. But it's not only that, you want to land on the barrels instead of on the floor or you'll take damage. So what we're going to do to prevent that is just look into here but look down so that we can quickly turn around. I landed next to the barrels and I did not take damage. It's because I used a quick load and quick save. It sometimes messes with falling damage and such, which is also why it's not allowed. It's important to note that in this game you cannot die of falling damage, but like I just said, if you take too much damage you'll end up going too slow, and that can mess up a lot of tricks for you. So walk in here, close this door. Now what I always do is very beginner friendly. I put one box here, I take both of these rods, we'll spawn a monster in that room, but we're safe, don't worry about it. Now put this one box on there. Jump onto the cogwheel, spam jump, no sprint, just spam jump and crouch onto the box, into this corner, and then just kind of spam yourself up there again, just pressing space and scrolling and trying running. This one can be quite risky as well, because from here we're going to jump to that room, and it has a small hitbox, so that you can fall next to it, and this is a long place to have to redo. So just run into this corner, because this corner has the biggest hitbox. Oh shit, almost got boosted off of it. And then from here we're going to jump onto that bit, which, yeah, I won't take damage because I used a quick load and a quick save, but you'll almost always take damage there. There, because you just kind of wedge yourself into the line of the woods again, and then you'll clip back into bounds. If you have any questions about the run, just ask me in the comments. I am on YouTube every day, so unless if this video is 7-year-old by now, which is the case for most tutorials, I don't know how fast I'll respond, but as of now I'll typically reply each day. We just walk into both of these rooms and grab the drill bits. There's not much to explain there. So jump up the stairs like you always do, it's a bit faster. And jump on these again. Hold the mouse button, don't forget. When running from that door, we're going to go in there, but we're running towards this pillar because then the game just kind of takes over your mouse, aims you in this direction and opens the door for you, which saves some seconds. A flashback will trigger here. You're going to grab the key,
You have an ascending room.
apply the key to the door. Now wait until Alexander starts his sentence to keep the flashback playing during your load screen, which saves some time.
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent
I'm just going to wait for these two to finish before I continue my explanation, so that I'm the only voice you have to pay attention to.
Might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
Alright, so this is the elevator room where we'll fix the elevator, and there's a bunch of quote-unquote puzzles. This is the first one you'll solve. You'll just run in here, and from the right side to the left it's very easy. Just up, down, up, down, up. And the last one you leave just there. So just come in from right, up, down, up, and that's it. That was only like the real quote unquote puzzle aspect of this part. Now here you grab all these things you just collected. First up is yellow. Then last one is red. I meant to grab the blue one. So blue one is in the middle. Yellow, blue, red. That's the order. Now you need these cogwheels. And be careful not to bump them into anything too much. Recently I was just like playing a speedrun. And I bumped one of the cogwheels into this pipe here. And it just suddenly stopped existing. So I was like, yeah, fuck this run. Now, there's one more cogwheel you need, which is over here. And then you open this up. Throw 3 lumps of coal. Just kind of slam these into place. Start the machine. Now this is where the shadow starts taking over. And to me it's almost impossible to get all the way upstairs without taking damage. No matter if I just don't touch these things, like my entire hitbox doesn't touch them, like here I always take damage. See? There's no way around it. So once again, hold the mouse button, and then we're going to run into the elevator. And this is like one of the first 3 parts of the run. I recommend just repeating everything I told you until this point, just back to back. Just like keep restarting segments until you've done them flawlessly 3 times in a row, then move on to the next and next and next until you've done everything up until here just flawlessly. Just try it again and again and again to get even more flawless, and then start learning the next part of this tutorial. If you're going to practice now, I bid you good luck. Okay, so now we're in the prison south. This is, according to most people, the scariest part of the game. But we're doing the beginner version, which is a bit less scary. So just keep forcing your mouse forward while hitting sprint and forward.
Come this way.
Because of the flashback, we have quite low running speed, but we're going to do something about that. First of all, throw this rock away, stand to this side of the door, walk through. So now you see this large rock here, grab it, hold it, drag it, and now you're faster. Even after the flashback, your speed is still a bit slower. Just keep holding it. Now it's faster again, but just for the sake of teaching you. Just keep holding it. Don't go back too far. If you go back too far, a thing will trigger. No idea what it was. Yeah, this brute asshole. Anyway, so don't walk back too far here. Just go into this room, grab a hammer, and walk out. Now we're going to go upstairs. I'm going to quick save here and explain you something. On top of the stairs, a brute will spawn. You're gonna try to almost run into him and walk away from him because of what I explained earlier. He is going to try to swing at you, but he can't move as he does it, so it buys you more time. If he misses, he'll be right on your ass the entire time. So you walk barely past him, he'll swing at you, you run on, you grab the chair, you throw the chair directly at him, go into the door, and run into the room that I'm about to run into. Running into that room will trigger a flashback, which is the beginner version. If you're doing the pro version, you're skipping that part. But we are going to trigger the flashback, and that flashback will make sure that we're once again invulnerable to the monster. So quick save. Okay, here we go. So here he is. Run past him. Fuck's sake. Let's try that again. Wow, he insta-killed me? Damn. Okay, so once again, I never ever get hit by him there. So grab the chair, be careful not to grab the oil, throw it right at his stupid face. Open the door, walk in here. For fuck's sake, it never fails on me. Walk right past him, grab the chair, throw it at his stupid face, bounce him back, walk in here, trick. What the fuck?
Where is she? Where did she go?
Oh my god.
Oh, tell. I'll never tell you.
Okay, no, that's how it's supposed to be done. And that's how it always goes. It's not as hard as I make it seem. He's going back there, so we're safe. It's not as hard as I make it seem.
Just making things worse.
I don't know what happened there, why he kept catching up to me. That never happens.
There's no telling what horror.
Just move the bed out of the way, grab either the hammer or the chisel that you just grabbed, and it'll do the work for you. Just spam clicking and then it'll load for you. So here you're now in the tunnel. Walk forward, will instantly trigger flashback. Keep jumping to get through the beginning a bit faster. And now that you're past this rock, kinda,
Find Gabriel.
that's when you'll just
Tell him to alert the
stop spamming jump.
Come to.
Two ways here. Take the right way.
Time to make the hole any wider. Someone's coming. Hurry. I'll cover the hole with the bed. Everything will
So there's a tactic on how to remove these rocks the fastest, which is you grab the top left one, you throw it against that one, you lift this one up, throw it, and this one you can't lift up, so you just like click, throw, click, throw, click, throw, click, throw, click, throw, and then you're out. Spam jump up these stairs. Okay, so now you're here, jump on the right side of this rock, onto this rock, then here, and then your head will be kind of stuck against the ceiling, so you start spamming crouch as well. So shift, crouch, jump, spam them all, kind of climb on this side of the rock, up there. Then just like kind of boost yourself to the exit. Gonna have to do this one again.
But Mother, I don't want to leave without you. Hurry, child. You must go. Find Gabriel, the Outrider, and tell him to alert the King's men. No, you come too. Please, we don't have time to
Spam
make
click,
the hole
spam
any
click, spam
wider.
click.
Someone's coming. Hurry. I'll cover the
Spam
hole with
jump
the
up the
bed.
stairs.
Everything will be fine. I promise you.
Spam yourself up these rocks. Up this side. Now we're up. You can boost yourself easily over these pillars. Boosting is essentially just jumping on objects with weird geometry and then jumping as you hit them, which will give you a slight speed boost. Now we're at the door like I just missed, and now just get in there. This here is the cistern. In the cistern, there's a trick to skip a flashback, which is quite difficult. Essentially what we're going to do is boost ourselves up here onto this pipe and jump from this pipe as far as we can over there. You are going to take damage, but it's worth it. So I suck at it myself, so I'm just gonna try to explain it. What you're essentially trying to do is to boost yourself from up here, up the wall, up the pipe. So now we're up the pipe. Going to aim for these rose petals, jump, we skip the flashback. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run from there into this thing. Just kind of load yourself in here. Until you see yourself sprinting, you can notice these movements of your cursor. So you load yourself in there and then spam jump. You're kind of trying to spam up this way, but as you launch yourself, you're going to aim for this ledge. I'm going to show you. Oh. Almost got yeeted into the fucking flashback trigger. Alright. So now we're on this ledge. We kind of aimed at this pipe for that, but we're still not on this ledge. So what we're going to do is kind of spam boost yourself into this ledge. You see? So now we're at the Morgue, which is also quite a risky thing, but it takes fairly little practice to master it. So hold click, don't walk past this line, it'll trigger a flashback. So what we're going to do to prevent that is look into this pillar, kind of sprint and walk into it, jump. But the moment you jump, you want to let go of Shift and W, because you can and will fall out of this map if you don't. So now, if you're going to walk past this way, we're still going to trigger a flashback. So what we're going to do is jump up here. That prevented it. Now, there's 2 laudanums in this map, and we're going to grab them both because we're all amateurs and we love health. So you want to just walk here, but you can't, so you're going to have to jump around it. Copper tube is what we needed, it's here. And now we're going to have to clip ourselves back in bounds. So just look at the guy's foot. I don't need any of this, I don't know where I open it. Look at this guy's foot, just load yourself in this corner, look at this guy's foot. Walk forward, sprint, jump, spam jump. Okay, didn't do the lineup properly. Look at his pinky toe now then. Okay, there we go. The other laudanum is in the bottom drawer here. So combine your drill bit parts and the copper tube and the hollow needle. Now what we're going to do is a bit time sensitive. You have to drill in his head and shove the copper tube in there. Now when we click it, we're going to faint, and when we wake up, we're going to have to get out of this door as quick as we can. If we don't, a monster is going to come in, and it's yeah, a bit of a hassle. So click it, click it, run towards the door. And we're out. So now the monster didn't spawn. So we have to avoid this flashback again. So what we're going to do is crawl up against this pillar. Look at this part. Hit sprint and D. This is the safest way to do it. Now just kind of clip yourself back onto this thing using these rocks or this pillar. I prefer this pillar actually. And just walk over it. And then just click the door, but I'm not going to because I'm going to show it one more time quicker. Fuck. Hold on. Load game. Morgue. There we go. Okay, so almost fell out, but not entirely, so that's cool. Whoops, took damage. But we're still not below 52 damage, I think, so we're still fine speed-wise. Okay, now I don't know. Grab tube, grab laudanum, check health. Wound squeeze. If it says barely conscious, or I don't know what it's supposed to say when you're on too low health. But if it says barely conscious or whatever at your health, that's when like you're in the fucked up zone. Didn't even take damage. So now we're back in the cistern. Yeah, shit, I didn't really prepare too well for this because there's a way to clip through the wall here, I think. I don't know how. So for now we're just gonna do this method. Gonna try to land in here, then just spam jump, spam jump, spam jump a little bit, then just see. You have to come close as possible to this archway until you can just release everything and stand still instead of like vigorously shaking. Once you reach it this close that you're standing still, face this brick, walk, whoops, face the right hand side of this brick. Oh, come on. Don't be a bitch. There we go, and then you can just clip through. I always take damage when jumping to this door. I don't know why. The sewers. It's notoriously the hardest part of the entire run. So, to get down here as quickly as possible, just drop down, click the ladder, click again to let go. Jump on these things to boost yourself faster. Don't worry about this dude, he isn't real. If you play this game the casual way, like how you're supposed to play instead of speedrunning, the sewers is notoriously scary for that monster, but we're safe from it. We're just not safe from the fucked upness we're about to experience. So, what you're gonna do is you walk the path I just took, get into this room, jump in here. Now, as the losers that we are, we're going to save. And if you're doing an official speedrun, you have to save this way by clicking save and exit. Yes, spam enter. And now you've saved there. So like when you fall down, you have to exit and then hit continue. But don't hit save and exit because then you're fucked. So now what you're going to do is you're looking about like somewhere around here. Usually like somewhere here. You sprint into this wall using W and tapping A. So like you have to tap A because if you tap it too much or hold it too long, you will instantly fall out of bounds. It's very easy to fall out of bounds here. Oof. Luckily I didn't. So I'm going to quick save here. Spam jump into this wall while tapping A and D. Sometimes for pillars you have to tap A and D to get in there faster. And then you have to jump here. Now if you've made it past the hardest part here, there's still a way to fuck up here by clipping back into bounds. So we don't want to jump too high, but we are going to press W, don't sprint, and then slowly spam jump. Oof. Now, okay, I messed this up. Let's see if I can save myself. Okay, no. Yeah, so just like spam yourself up here. Jump on this thing. Then on this pillar. Slowly spam yourself up. Okay, it's an absolute miracle we didn't take damage there, but I think it's because of the... Yeah, quick load and quick save. I messed up again. Can you see now how sewers is a run killer? Okay, so you spam yourself up the pillar. Jump onto this thing. And then onto this pillar. Slowly boost yourself up here. I did it way too high again. Jump into the middle. Now you're gonna have to very carefully evade around that pole. And then just kinda jump on this thing, jump on this pillar. If you jump down there, you'll take damage, you don't want that. There's an invisible wall here. You can see it from this side, just kinda spam jump over it. Do the same thing here again. And the same thing here again. Now, you remember when we were doing the button assignments that we assigned our action button to the scrolling down as well. Here's why. We click on this ladder and then just spam the mouse wheel down. That's the quickest way to get up. That's the only reason. That's the only time in this game you use it. I think. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. So now we're in the nave, which is where the third part of the game begins, I think. So, if you nailed the first part and just wanted to see the tutorial for the second part, I recommend you start practicing now. And once you've nailed that down, I recommend starting again from here. So, we spawned here next to this ladder. And we're going to run through this door, but now we want to go out of bounds. So here's what we do. We run up here, spam jump, crouch. You want to spam sprint to get up there, but once your head clips into the ceiling, release of sprint, keep spamming space. So now here's what we're going to do. We have to get all the way down there without falling damage. Can you imagine? Luckily there's a trick for that. You align yourself next to this wall, look at this thing, like the ceiling support, just let go of your mouse, keep hitting sprint, suicide jump around this, spam yourself up here, then suicide jump around here again. I'm just gonna do this one more time, a bit more explanation. So you spawn through this door, hold sprint, release sprint, look at the ceiling support so you can barely see it, aim your mouse there. It kills the falling damage, suicide jump around here, suicide jump around there, miss it, die again. Of course you want to be more careful than I am in an actual speedrun. There we go. So, there we are. And now we're going to the choir. Well, now we're in the choir entrance. Okay, so this is a really shitty part, a really boring part of the game, so I'm not going to redo it again. You can boost yourself off of these heels of the pillars everywhere. So just keep trying to do that to either kill boredom of this part or just gain speed. Either way, it's better than just being alive and playing this. The music also makes it so much more boring. So here's the final laudanum in the game. And here is the only jump scare in the game. We can avoid it if you want by just jumping like that. But you can also just not give a shit and trigger it. It doesn't mess with your sanity at all, I think. Nope. Okay, so if we were experts in this game, here would be the hardest part of the run. It's called the hardest part of the run. So what you do is you line yourself up here. Don't do this actually if you're attempting to train this run yourself as you're watching this. But what the experts do is align themselves right here, jump on it, jump, and then they sometimes get boosted to the other side. It's called the gap jump, that's what it's called. Just gonna try it one more time for shits and giggles. Yeah, no, not gonna work, not my style. Too hard for us. So instead what we will do is we run to this pillar and just the good old boost up by holding Shift W and spamming the scrolling wheel. Because if we walk over this bridge, a spawn trigger is hit for a brute, which is the fast little dude, like the blind cleaver hand dude. I just like to jump around here. And on this pillar, use its boost to launch myself to the door. God, it's boring. So now to make it across this gap, you just kind of boost yourself up here. Now you're better at boosting at this point in the game, probably. Just see what suits you the best. Now here I recommend saving if you're not too experienced at this. Do remember that saving the quote unquote legal way takes a lot more time than quick saving. So just gonna sprint to this pole and then spam jump. And then, there we go. This is also a good place to save. So you have to get up here, but like, you have to watch out for the doorposts because they can clip you back into bounds and then you're fucked. So, what you want to do here is not that. What you instead want to do, so like boost yourself up here. And you want to land on top of this pillar and then suicide jump into that corner. So like I make it look a lot harder than it seems. Excuse me. There we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Also, if you're having trouble boosting, set your scrolling wheel sensitivity in your computer's mouse settings all the way up. Okay, so now just slowly as possible, don't get boosted off there. So now we're on the pillar. Let's quick save for safety measures. And just like kind of jump around here into the wall to save you some damage. Grab the orb. Now very counterintuitively, drop yourself down. Quick saving there to show you something. So jumping down transports you like back in front of the door, which we of course use to our advantage. So like the moment the screen turns white, turn around and spam click. So it looks something like this. Oh, for fuck's sake. I of course need the last piece to finish the run. Good texting break. Alright, so it should look something like this. Just turn around, spam click, and then you're inside. So we have 3 out of 6 orb pieces now. So we're going to go back to the nave. Okay, back into the nave. Jump into the corner. Look at the black spot. Oh, for fuck's sake. So now we're back in the nave. I just had to cut a lot of footage out because things went wrong and my game crashed. But what we're gonna do is just walk to this door, jump into this corner, look at this black little spot, hold shift, just kind of tap D. Just make sure that you keep into the corner, kind of look at the spot. Oh, tap and hold D. Gonna quick save here because it keeps going wrong. Just look as perpendicular to this wall as you can. Just don't sprint, hold W, and boost yourself up. Now we're up here. Gonna jump through this bit. Don't crash. Okay, no, it didn't crash. Try not to take damage. There we go. So now we're entering the transept, which is a slow and boring part as well, but not as slow and boring as the choir. So, no way to avoid this flashback.
How much more, Baron? How much more am I supposed to withstand? Kill me already! Kill me!
This one.
Pull the door open. Luckily, it's quite a short flashback. Oh, pull the door open. Just don't intervene with the closet. Just grab the piece of orb. Now this pillar is the pillar that you're going to use to clip out of bounds. Just look this way, perpendicular to this bit. Hold shift, hold A, and as you clip into this pillar, move your mouse this way slightly. If you don't, it's going to look like this. Oh, I clipped into bounds anyway. Well, if it works, it works. So then you walk around, don't fall, so just make sure that you're fully pressed against this wall before you turn. Don't try to take shortcuts here because it will end you. Boost up against the pillar, and when you want to go down, also just like fucking push yourself into a pillar to prevent damage. Now this one can be a bit tricky to grab. Just make sure you're not fully pressed against that wall because you'll elevate yourself and then it's harder to grab. Once again, push yourself into this wall before turning because you can fall. And now we're going to use the doorpost to our advantage to clip back into bounds. There we go. It won't always work as fast as I just did it, just like keep backing yourself up and into it, moving your mouse a little. Just that stuff. And here we have it, the last piece of orb. Sometimes there's a guy in one of these cages, it just happens after a certain trigger. It just happened to me once and then never again. I don't know where the trigger is and how I hit it. Okay, this one I have to do fast. I'll do it and explain it later. Actually, no. I'll just do it normally. So, notice how the screen shakes now. So you have to do it quickly quite usually. But what you want to do, if the screen shakes, it's harder to align yourself. So what you're going to do, jump into this corner, align yourself with this piece, and then run at it, and you'll clip through. But if you clip through, like imagine that this side of the hallway is us clipping through that side of the wall. So we clip through, then you have to jump this way, because if you don't, you'll just fall down here. So, quick save. Bam. Here you can fall down. You don't want this. Now boost yourself up into this pillar. It's usually a bit finicky. I myself have a very hard time getting in here without taking damage. But here you boost yourself back into bounce. There you go. Hiya Grippa. Barely conscious is when you take laudanum because your speed is affected by it quite badly. Open the door. And go to the chancel. The chancel is a funny bit because here 3 monsters are going to chase you and they're going to capture you because it's part of the story. So we are going to trigger the capture point as fast as possible by opening this door, walking to a certain point to trigger the chase. So like you walk up till here, run around, walk back here, and then you just get captured. So this is pretty much the final part of the run. Now we're just basically running towards the end. First you're gonna need this thing. Get up on this table. Like kinda crouch jump into this part of the cell. I'm fucking it up way more than usual. Okay, so now because the screen is going to shake, we're going to jam this thing in here, grab the chair, and then just like kinda push the key out with the chair. Use the rusty key on this door. How convenient that the key to my escape was just there. And now you're gonna have to run. Don't bother like getting all this shit away from the door. Just grab the door, open it, and push away. Here there's going to be like a T-split. Just run to this end first and then run to the other end. Like no matter what end you run to first, it'll collapse. So just trigger the collapse and run elsewhere. Here you want to try to keep sticking to the wall as long as you can. But of course I keep fucking everything up now. And there at the top is the door towards the nave. The nave has been overtaken by the shadow now, which is unfortunate, but we just have to go through it and then we never have to go back there again. So just keep running forward until you get to the large staircase. And quick save right there. Jump onto this part because there's like this weird wall thing that'll kind of boost you off sometimes. Jump onto this wooden thing. Jump onto this thing. And jump onto this ledge here. And then down. Try not to land on the shadow because it can harm you. But I'm just an idiot, so now land on this chest to break your fall damage. Hug this wall to prevent damage again. And now we're back in the chancel, which is where we just were captured. As you can see, there's a brute walking there, fast blind motherfucker, but we're safe anyway. For fuck's sake. Easiest out of bounds in the game, just walk into this pillar, the wall next to it. Just run onto here, don't fall behind it. Spam jump sprint to this corner. Now this is where the tricky part begins. We have to land up here. I just kinda aim myself in between this pillar and this thing, the rock stack, whatever. You really have to time your jump properly, because if you jump here, as you can see, like, it barely feels like a jump, but if you do it early enough, you might still get on there. There. It's just there's no real solid way to do it, I think. Just see what works best for you. So here, damn. Nah, I couldn't be able to save myself. Luckily I quick saved, but if I wouldn't have, I would have been fucked. Luckily I'm much more careful when I'm actually running, so just carefully walk to this side, boost yourself up here, then jump onto here, and then in here. It's into the inner sanctum. Second last segment of the game. So the shadow is chasing you, so go down fast. Pull down this handle. If you see these doors open, you know you did it correctly. Just gonna wait for the shaking to stop so I can clearly show you what's going on. You done? Alright, so we want to go through this door. We don't want to go through the hassle, so you just kind of walk in here and then just kind of drag your mouse to the middle. Now let's do it with sprinting. And then just kind of turn circles with your thing till you're through. Then if you click this door, you're into the orb chamber, which is the final room. But I'm going to do this one more time. This one is really random for me as well. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea what to do about it. Just fucking let me in. Just fucking... Jesus Christ. Yeah, sometimes it's just like this. There we go. So sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes slower. It can really fuck up the last moments in my run. So here, the first thing we're going to do is grab the pillar in front of us. Hold Shift and A to topple it. So grab it, hold Shift and A, and topple it. Now grab this one, hold Shift and W while moving your... hold it while moving your mouse upward. Sometimes this thing can boost you towards the pillar faster. Now just grab it, hold Shift, hold A, and the moment you let go, that's when you say time. That's when the game speedrun is over. So, that was everything to this game, to the speedrun. Once you nail this, you should look at people's tutorials who did it better. Because as you can see, I'm not too effective at this game. Not too effective at speedrunning, I mean. Yeah, thanks for watching, and good luck running. If you have any questions, please do ask them. Good luck.